Good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out of your lovely Tuesday evening. The weather here on Long Island is starting to feel like spring, so thanks for giving up a little bit of daylight to come and talk about financial aid with all of us. One of the most important questions to ask is how much does it cost to go to college? And so we call that the cost of attendance. Every school in the country is required by law to publish a cost of attendance. That is a cost of attendance number that includes tuition, fees, housing, books, transportation, and personal expenses, or everything that we would assume you to have an expense if you're going to college. We often hear from students who say, well, why are you including housing if I'm going to be living off campus or if I'm going to be living at home? Well, for federal financial aid purposes, we're required to construct that budget. It doesn't mean that those will be direct costs to you. It just means that we estimate that you are going to have those costs while you're going to be in school. So we'll go into those in a little bit greater detail in a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about the cost of attendance. The other piece is really how is financial aid determined? So the first thing that we do as a school is we calculate what our estimated cost of attendance is. You'll hear me say estimated cost of attendance because sometimes we have students that their expenses will be slightly above that. Sometimes they'll be slightly below that, but we still set what that cost of attendance is going to be. We take that cost of attendance number, and for everybody who's already filled your FAFSA, you guys are doing great. The FAFSA determines what's called an SAI, or a Student Aid Index. That is how much the U.S. Department of Education believes your family should be able to contribute towards the cost of education. We subtract that cost of attendance from the Student Aid Index, and we determine how much financial need that you have. We always like to be upfront at Stony Brook. We are a large public flagship institution from the state of New York, and we do not have the resources to meet 100% of everyone's financial need. So we use that need determination to really kind of allocate many of our limited funded programs. When we talk about those funded programs that we offer, Stony Brook offers financial aid that would include grants, scholarships, work study, and loans. A lot of families say, well, I know I'm not going to qualify for any grants. Should I fill out the FAFSA? We encourage everyone to fill out the FAFSA. In fact, in New York State, it's required as part of your high school graduation to make sure you complete the FAFSA. So if you want to take out student loans at some point and you have a FAFSA on file, we can usually process those in a few days for you. If you have to start the process all fresh, it usually takes a couple of weeks. Once again, another reason for everyone to go ahead and fill out the FAFSA.